So I've been teaching the basic recording classes at UCLA Extension for a few years, and we realized that there was a need for a certificate program that encompassed the engineering, the songwriting, the marketing, all of the things that had previously been split into separate programs at UCLA Extension. So we've put together this new certificate in independent music production, which covers all of the bases for any artist wanting to produce their own material and get it out there for people to hear. On first glance, the program seems very much geared towards the independent artist, and we'll give them all the background in songwriting and things like that they would need, but at the same time also give them the background to be able to produce their own records, do their own recordings, market them, get them out on the internet, and all of that. But I think that it would actually appeal to anyone who's interested in any one of those facets of the music industry the way it is now. Whether you're an artist, whether you want to be a producer, whether you want to be a label, any of those. Or if you just want to write songs for other artists to perform, I think it's really important to know about all the other aspects of what's going on. The curriculum was definitely driven by the fact that now anybody can get the equipment and the software they need to produce a studio quality recording for less than $1,000, let's say. And with that sort of power comes a responsibility to do a good job, to know how to record things and how to structure your song, where you used to have to interact with a lot of people only because you couldn't do it yourself. And now that any artist can do pretty much every stage of producing their own product themselves, it seems more important to actually go out and get a little bit of education so you've got a good grounding in all the different aspects you're going to have to cover yourself. One of the great things about being in Los Angeles is all of the instructors that I've met who teach the classes are actually working professionals. There's nobody at this program who's a full-time teacher. Not that there's anything wrong with full-time teachers, but especially in the music business, which is changing so fast, it's great to have people who are actually doing it now, because what you teach one quarter may actually change if you teach the course again 2 quarters later. Been very fortunate, worked with a lot of bigger artists, including Red Hot Chili Peppers and U2, Metallica, so been very fortunate, but also sort of coming in at the tail end of quite a few different technologies. I came in at the end of the analog age. I made all of my records at the beginning on tape, and then saw the computers entering the studio, and I was one of the first people to really embrace some of the computer-based audio systems, and that helped me sustain my work because I knew how those worked. And then you see the downsizing of the studios and the working at home, and the studio we're in right now is at my home, and it's where I do most of my work. The major label model for music distribution and sales is sort of, it's going away, except for established acts. But there's more music being made now than there ever has been. So what's great about that is that everybody can actually make a product and have it available and have it sold, but then you have to learn how to be noticed above the noise, because if there are 1,000 bands that are all in the same genre, all putting out stuff on MySpace, let's say, you have to know, well, how can you get noticed and how can you be different or better? And I think having an education in the basics of all of the fields involved with making your own musical product is the key. The model for most of the education in the music industry has always been to sort of split things up. And so you had the technical side of things, which would be engineering, mixing, and even producing to some extent. And you would have the musical side of things, which would be the actual artists for songwriting and music theory and things like that. And then something that almost never even gets talked about is the marketing aspect. All of these disciplines have come very, very close together, and they're not separated because you don't have companies that specialize in just one of those things anymore. And if you are a musician, you need to know how to record, because most likely you're going to be recording yourself. And then once you're done recording and you've mixed your product, you need to get it out there and people need to know about it. So you need to know about marketing and about distribution and all of the things you used to be able to pass on to somebody else who specialized just in that. And so the industry goes, so should the education. I think it's important, even if you're lucky enough to just be an artist or just be a producer, you need to know enough about everything else that happens with your product that you know that the other person taking care of that is actually competent and doing what should be done. I think whether you're an artist or you want to be a producer or you want to be an independent label or work for a promotions firm or anything like that, I think that this particular certificate program has a lot to offer, and it's really important to get the grounding in all the areas that we've talked about. So you should check it out.